There's a reason you are here right now, not because the algorithm decided to show you this, but because something inside you recognized the frequency before your conscious mind even registered what you were looking at. This video doesn't find people randomly. It finds people who are standing at a very specific threshold, the one right before everything changes, right before all that patience, all that work, all those quiet moments when you kept going even though nothing seemed to be moving. Right before all of that finally clicks into place. You're closer than you think, closer than you've ever been. And this message appearing in your life right now, that's not coincidence. That's confirmation. The breakthrough you've been building toward is already in motion. You just can't see it yet, but you're about to. Let me tell you what happens right before a breakthrough. There's this specific feeling that shows up. You've probably been experiencing it for weeks, maybe months. It's hard to describe, but it's real. It's like standing in a dark room, knowing the light switch is right in front of you, but you can't quite find it yet. You can feel it though. The possibility, the nearness of it, like something is about to unlock, about to shift, about to finally make sense. But nothing's happened yet, at least not visibly. So you start to wonder if you're imagining it, if you're just telling yourself stories to cope with how long this is taking. If maybe you've been wrong this whole time about where you're headed. That doubt? That's not a sign you're off track. That's actually proof you're almost there. Because here's what most people don't understand about breakthroughs. They don't announce themselves in advance. They build in silence, under the surface, in places you can't see or measure or track. You've been planting seeds for months, maybe years, doing the work, showing up, making choices that nobody applauded because they couldn't see where those choices were leading. And the whole time you've been wondering if any of it matters, if anyone notices, if it's ever gonna pay off. And the answer is yes. It's all been accumulating. Every decision, every sacrifice, every moment you chose the harder right over the easier wrong, it's all been building towards something. And that something is about to break through the surface. You won't have to wait much longer. The wait is almost over. And I know you've heard that before. I know people have told you to just be patient, just trust the process, just keep going. And you have. You've been patient. You've trusted when it didn't make sense to trust. You've kept going when every logical part of you said to quit. But now there's this new layer to it. It's not just hope anymore. It's knowing, deep, cellular knowing, that something is different this time. That all those aligned actions are finally reaching critical mass. You can feel it in your body, in the way opportunities are starting to appear, in the way conversations are shifting, in the way doors that were locked for years are suddenly cracking open. That's not your imagination. That's momentum, real momentum, the kind that's been building underground and is about to surface in ways that will shock you. Systems thinking teaches us that change happens slowly, then all at once. You can heat water from 0 degrees to 99 degrees, and it just sits there getting warmer. Nothing dramatic, nothing visible. But the second you hit 100 degrees, everything transforms. The water doesn't gradually become steam, it erupts. That's where you are right now, 99 degrees. 1 degree away from the shift you've been working toward. And that final degree? It's happening right now, today, this moment. You finding this video is part of that degree clicking into place, because this message doesn't randomly show up in people's feeds. It finds people whose frequency has reached a specific resonance, the frequency of imminent breakthrough. Your energy has shifted enough that you're now attracting the final confirmations, the last pieces of the puzzle, the closing signs before everything activates. And this is one of those signs. Here's what I need you to understand. The reason it's felt so hard lately, the reason doubt has been louder than usual, the reason you've been questioning everything, that's not evidence you're failing. That's the final test. It always gets darkest right before dawn, not because the universe is cruel, but because you're shedding the last version of yourself that can't hold what's coming. You're being prepared, stretched, expanded to match the size of the breakthrough that's heading your way. And that process is uncomfortable. It has to be, because the person you were 6 months ago couldn't handle what you're about to receive. You had to become someone different, someone stronger, someone who's proven they won't quit when things get hard. And you've done that. You've already passed the test. You just don't know it yet because the results haven't been posted. but they were coming faster than you think. Think about everything you've survived to get here. Every setback that didn't break you. Every failure that taught you something you couldn't have learned any other way. Every moment you wanted to quit but didn't. Every door that closed in your face. Doors that you now realize were redirecting you towards something better. None of that was wasted. None of that was random. It was all preparation. It was all building the exact skill set, the exact mindset, the exact character you need to handle what's about to happen. Because breakthroughs aren't just about getting what you want. They're about becoming someone who can sustain what you get. And you've been in the becoming phase. That phase is ending. The receiving phase is beginning. And when I say beginning, I don't mean someday. I mean now, this week, this month, sooner than your logical mind thinks is possible. And here's how you'll know it's happening. Things will start moving fast. Doors will open that you stopped knocking on. People will reach out that you forgot you reached out to. Opportunities will appear that don't make logical sense based on where you were last month. Clarity will hit you about decisions you've been agonizing over. You'll feel lighter, even though nothing external has changed yet. That lightness, that's the energy shifting. That's the frequency of breakthrough replacing the frequency of waiting. And once that shift happens internally, the external reality has no choice but to follow. That's not spiritual bypassing. That's physics. Inner state creates outer experience. And your inner state just hit the tipping point. The external evidence is on its way. You'll see it soon. Sooner than you're ready for, honestly. But you'll handle it. You've been preparing for this moment longer than you realize. Now, let's talk about what you need to do in this final stretch. And the answer might surprise you. Nothing. You don't need to push harder. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to make something happen. You just need to stay open. Stay ready. Stay aligned with the version of yourself that already has what you've been working toward. Because here's the thing about breakthroughs. They rarely come from grinding. They come from alignment, from getting out of your own way, from releasing the grip on how and when and through what channel it's supposed to arrive. Your job right now isn't to figure it all out. Your job is to trust that it's already figured out, to believe that all the pieces are moving into place behind the scenes, to stay in a state of expectant calm, not anxious hustle. The breakthrough isn't something you create, it's something you allow, and you're finally in a place to allow it. That's why this video found you now, to remind you to stop forcing and start receiving. You've been carrying something heavy for a long time, the weight of wondering if it'll ever happen, the pressure of trying to make it happen, the fear that maybe you missed your window, maybe you're too late, maybe it's not meant for you. But what if all of that was just resistance trying to protect you from disappointment? What if the only thing standing between you and your breakthrough is your willingness to believe it's actually coming? Not someday, but now? What if you decided right here, right now, that the waiting is over? Not because everything's perfect, not because you have all the answers, but because something inside you knows. You can feel it. The shift, the alignment, the nearness of it all. That feeling is real. Trust it. It's not leading you astray. It's leading you exactly where you've been trying to go. And you're almost there. One more step, one more breath, one more moment of belief. That's all it takes. You're that close. And when it happens, when the breakthrough finally arrives and you're standing in the middle of everything you've been building toward, you'll look back at this moment. You'll remember this video. You'll remember the feeling you had watching it. That strange mix of hope and disbelief, of wanting to trust but being afraid to fully let yourself believe. And you'll realize this was the turning point. This was the moment right before everything shifted. Not because this video has magic powers, but because you were ready. You'd done the work. You'd paid the price. You'd stayed in the game long enough to see it through. And this message simply reflected back to you what was already true. That your time is here. That the breakthrough isn't coming. It's happening right now, in ways you can't see yet, but will soon, very soon. So here's what I want you to do. If this landed, if something inside you recognized the truth in these words, go down to the comments and type 3 words. I am prepared. That's it. No explanation, no story, just those 3 words. Because when you declare readiness, you signal to your nervous system that the waiting is over, that you're no longer preparing for the breakthrough. you're stepping into it. And that shift in identity, that internal claim of readiness, that's the final key. That's what unlocks everything. And if you know someone who's been grinding, been waiting, been doubting whether their breakthrough will ever come, share this with them. Ask them to write it too. I am prepared. Because sometimes we need permission to stop waiting and start receiving. This is that permission. The breakthrough you've been building toward is closer than your fear wants you to believe. Everything you've planted is about to bear fruit. Every seed you thought died in the ground was just germinating, getting ready to push through the surface all at once. And when it does, when you see the evidence of everything you've been trusting, you'll understand why it had to take this long, why it had to be this hard, why you had to become who you've become to hold what's coming. None of it was wasted. All of it was necessary. And all of it is about to make sense in ways that will leave you breathless. Your breakthrough isn't a possibility. It's a certainty. The only question is whether you'll recognize it when it arrives, whether you'll be present enough, open enough, trusting enough to receive it fully. And I think you will, because you're here. You found this video at exactly the right moment, not before you were ready, not after you'd given up. Right now, right when you needed to hear that the wait is almost over, that you're not crazy for believing, that everything you've been feeling is real and valid and about to be confirmed in undeniable ways. If you want more of these conversations, subscribe. And if supporting through Super Thanks feels right, it helps me invest in better production so these messages reach you with the clarity they deserve. Either way, you being here matters. This video found you right before your breakthrough. Not to give you information, but to confirm what your soul already knows, that you're standing at the edge of everything you've been working toward, that the next chapter is about to begin, that all the patience, all the faith, all the quiet work nobody saw, it's about to pay off in ways bigger than you imagined. So take a breath, let it settle, and get ready, because your life is about to change. And this moment right here, this is the last moment before, the last moment of wondering, the last moment of waiting. From here, everything shifts, and you'll be ready for it, because you already are.